So Jason Goodman was I can tell you're nervous right now. Body language alone.
In my head.
This is great.
I love when you're uncomfortable. So good. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Jason Goodman was invited to lunch by the pastor of the church where he has been going recently with his wife.
My wife goes to that I.
Okay, you don't
attend
even want to.
sometimes.
Occasionally. You attend when
Okay.
she promised you sexy time after.
That's fair.
There are sometimes, things that help you go. Yeah.
Incentives.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Incentives.
Yes.
Incentive, sure.
Although I don't know if she comes through with that all the time. And that's not a good look for
She has to repent
Jesus
for
and
her
God.
lies.
She is a woman in progress. You know, we're not all perfect.
And this music is not. I know this is church music, but this is not the typical music I usually hear.
It isn't? What do they have at your
It's
church?
a very contemporary church, right? So there's like a full band.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like a little soft rock.
Not the.
I don't have any of that. I don't think. Not on hand anyway.
No.
All right.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
This will have to do.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's it.
I like it.
That's all I got.
Okay.
So anyway, this pastor, has really been motivational for you.
Well,
And-
yeah. So I'm agnostic. I want to
Mhm.
make that clear.
Sure.
I just had to update that one thing on your Facebook. I had to do that. Sorry. I just say who is agnostic because I'm, agnostic doesn't mean atheist. It's a more complicated.
You are definitely just walking the center line, like could be, could not be. Don't know.
Well, yeah. So my
Right.
wife, she drags me. She started to get me to go, to this church. Who started off in Oak Ridge in a elementary school to
Oh,
start.
really?
So my expectation going was like,
What
an
could this be?
elementary school, but they
Yeah.
had a big location in Kernsville I didn't know about.
Uh-huh,
Could have filled me in on that. And the reason why they were building a huge church at Oak Ridge. So, anyways, so I go. There's one pastor, and he's the head pastor, and he's even more than that. But when he speaks, I'm just so entertained by and so engaged. He's so engaging. The speaking, the mannerisms, the emotions of funny and just everything about it. It's just an incredible speaker. In my mind, I thought this guy is like he could be a motivational speaker for a major company and make a lot more money than he's making now. That's what I'm thinking.
If he just wasn't moved, by that little thing
Yeah.
called the Spirit of the Lord.
Exactly. He wasn't
God.
called to preach.
Yeah.
So I
know.
went on the air, obviously, a few days, I don't know, a week or two ago.
About,
Yeah, probably 2 weeks ago. And I was talking about this guy, Johnathan Robbins, and he is just so good. He's started becoming, over the last year or two, almost like a celebrity to me. Because not all the time, he can't be at each location. So sometimes each a location that you're at has a huge screen come down with his, what do you call it, sermon? Is that
Sermon.
what it is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we call it a homily, but yes.
All right, a sermon type.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I'm like, this guy has people laughing. This guy, and he's very engaged. He's very real. He's just so different. He's more of like kind of it's not like
Authentic.
antiquated. Sometimes I feel like when I go, and no offense to all your religious
Hey,
beliefs,
none taken.
when I go to church, it just seems old and
Sure.
antiquated, and this guy seems more modern and more relatable to me.
Well, and let me tell Matt this too, because he was not here the first time that you were basically fangirling over this pastor.
Thank you,
Well, I mean, it's true. Matt, Jason loves this man so much and is so inspired by him that Jason has secret informers
Yes.
that let their family
Informants.
know.
Informants.
Yeah, and what did I say?
Formers.
Oh, sorry, informants. Informants that call his house the night before and they say, I know where Pastor Robbins is going to be.
Oh,
Yeah, the
my
next day.
word.
And
And
so
they-
Jason shows up with his family at that location.
Uh-huh.
They tipped me off that he was going to be in Oak Ridge. And I was like, oh my gosh. And that was my chance to get a selfie.
Carol, we're going to church.
But Carol wants to go. But
get a
when I heard
selfie.
about this, I was like, my gosh.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to try to meet him I was starting to get nervous. And it was a whole episode of me getting nervous. And it's on our Facebook page or whatever.
And on our website, yeah.
And it was a big deal. And I didn't end up getting the selfie because I was too nervous at the end. And I did meet him, but I sounded like a fool. And he's probably like, who is this? Do we have security here? I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyways, after hearing it, the guy from Summit was Johnathan, heard it, and actually wrote me a message, got my email or email. It was an email. Somehow something came in. I don't know how he got it. And he
It's
said,
only all over our website.
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't think it was that. I don't think it was the
Says
website.
the man who, anytime we're like, "Hey, please don't broadcast my address," Jason's like, you could just Google it, right? Yeah, I know.
Well, anyways,
but
he probably from the church. That's probably how he got.
oh, you
The
guys
church
are members.
directory.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're in there.
He is the head of it. Okay. So I get this email, and he's like, "Wow, a lot of people were texting me today. Thanks for all the nice things." He's very humble. And nice things you said. Let's. I want to get to meet you more. I didn't realize that was you coming up to me, but now I remember you. He remembers me because I acted probably weird.
Yes.
He's
No.
he's meeting tons of
How?
people, and he remembers me. I didn't know you were that guy from the radio. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. Anyway, so he writes me and says, "Why don't we go to lunch sometime? My treat."
Well,
Oh, boy.
that just sent you into a tailspin.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
yeah.
That's like
It's consumed you.
that's like doing something really stupid in front of Taylor Swift or Jay-Z or something like that, and them saying, "Why don't we go to lunch together? I want to get to know you." And then I'm going to sit down one-on-one. Oh, gosh. I've had diarrhea over this.
Worse than normal.
Explosive diarrhea.
Real.
So I delay responding to get my thoughts processed and get feedback from people. And then finally I said,
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to go to lunch.
Yeah.
But then I thought, oh gosh, where are we going to go? So I asked Jared because he's so religious. And then Katie as a secondary, where are some good Christian lunch places?
Imagine getting that text message.
and Jared responds back, Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
I'm like, Chick-fil-A, that's all you got? There's Chinese, there's Indian, there's Mexican, there's Italian, and you're going to tell me Chick-fil-A? He's like, well, there is no. You would think after all these years there'd be some kind of Christian
There's
lunch
not.
place.
What do you eat? Just communion when
I
you
don't
go in?
know.
There's not a Catholic lunch place.
Bread and
There's
wine.
Jerusalem down the street here.
Yeah, but there's not like a Lutheran or Episcopalian lunch place, or
Yeah.
or
I don't
whatever,
know.
Baptist burritos.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
like that.
It's not a bad idea.
That is a good
It's
idea.
pretty
I don't think he's
good.
Baptist, though. Is it Baptist?
I don't.
No,
you
but yeah,
go
we're
to the
just throwing it
church.
out
What are
no,
you?
they're not. They're non-denominational.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
they don't have that. I think he used to be, maybe, but his dad was a pastor. So, anyways, so I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to put it back on him as you choose the place because I don't know where Christians go like that.
That's good. You mean just normal, everyday people going to lunch.
So he says salsaritas.
Ooh, delicious.
All right.
So I'm like, doesn't sound so Christian to me, but I'll go.
Doesn't sound Christian.
So we agreed to go. And we make this is all via email, by the way. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, I wonder if I said something offended. He's getting people complain about it. Who knows exactly what is the agenda? Because I know Jared and his religion, it just seems like there's always an agenda. I'm like,
You think you're like in trouble? Maybe
Or
you're just
speaking.
unsure.
I'm just like I'm just nervous. Like when finally we meet yesterday, and I was very nervous about meeting.
Oh yeah.
I parked a block away just to make sure I could scope out the place for any potential situation like. We knew you were talking about us, and they grabbed me and threw me in the car and took me away.
Pour water on your head.
He's
like,
holy
burn,
water
demon, burn.
Jason's looking around, making sure there's no baptismal pools that he's not aware of.
an exorcism setup going on here.
Sure, you don't know.
I didn't
to
see
be
any of
fair,
that.
yeah.
Is that a cross over there?
Is that the Pope Mobile parked up front? I don't know.
Here it is. I didn't totally believe that could happen. There was a part of me, though.
Yeah.
You never know. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yep.
So I did park a block away, and I walked up, and I'm very scoping out the place, and I walk up, and as soon as I get there, he comes out and pokes his head out the window. He's like, Jason, hey, right here. I'm
Oh.
like, okay. All righty, let's go. So we go in, we have the lunch, we both order relatively the same thing, except I get chicken, he got steak, bowl. We
So
go-
that's much more Christian for him to get
Yeah,
steak.
I was wondering.
Just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
The
kidding.
first thing I did say is, what are you getting? Because
Yeah.
I didn't know if I got something, if it's offensive. Like, how there's certain religions, if you get certain animals like lamb, maybe it's offensive, or ham to certain. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
chicken rice bowl?
I feel like it's pretty
And
kosher.
he was kind of nodding his head like, I think I'm going to just take one. I'm like, I think I'm in the clear.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the clear.
Yeah, step one.
Christians
clear.
eat chicken, right? We're good?
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
And I noticed they said, sir, what would you, to him, Johnathan Robbins, what would you like to drink? He says, water. I'm like, mm-hmm.
Oh.
And he goes, bottled water? Nope, just tap. I'm like, oh, I know where this is going. Because can he just bless the water and throw it on me? Is it that holy water? I don't know. So
don't know. Not sure.
So I order a water too, tap water. We go and we sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Things are fine. We sit down at a booth, one-on-one talking. And I'm thinking in this moment, never in my entire life would I, Jason Goodman, be sitting down with a pastor talking at lunch.
Yeah.
That's just so foreign.
Jason.
Yeah.
All of us included.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Never in
Oh,
a
yeah.
million
Never.
years would they say, imagine this, and I'd say, you're out of your mind.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And me thinking that starts getting me combobulated and even more nervous.
In
And-
your own head.
Yes. And knowing that this guy is an exceptional speaker, very engaging, very entertaining. And then when I did my background check on him before we went,
You did not.
I did for
Pay
hours.
money for it.
Yeah, I pretended I didn't know much about him when he was speaking, but I knew everything about him.
Oh. So much for getting to know you.
He brings up a fact about his life. Jason's like, that actually happened in 2012.
Yeah, you're wrong.
You were off.
You mixed up the date.
And
Off by
I'm
2 years.
so nervous because I know that he can speak. And when I'm nervous, because he can speak on stage to thousands of people, so he's not nervous to do that. And I'm like, "Ugh," I can't even form my words, right? So I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I just,
Are you shallow breathing at the
I'm
moment?
trying
Yeah.
to breathe
Mhm.
in. I was worried about like the way I was eating. Like, should I take a bite now that he's talking, or should I put my spoon down? Wait a minute, I want to talk. If I have to respond, then I have food in my mouth. So it was very difficult.
This is like a first date.
Yes,
You know, like
it
how
was-
nervous people get.
So nervous. So, anyways, we started talking about nothing super duper religious, but I wanted to know more and his actual how he envisions in this, and I want to know how, because the church that I was brought to that is there now is very different probably than most standard church that you go to. I'm thinking because I have been to your church one time.
Yeah, I think so.
And I've been to Jared's. It's just very different. It's more, I guess, more modern and contemporary, and they do things for me, there's a lot of production, and it's always exact and perfect. It's extremely clean. There's all these nice programs for these kids. There's a whole daycare or preschool type area where like Everly would go, and then she does like these crafts and stuff, and she comes out with a paper. She's so excited, and I noticed the paper will have something about Jesus on it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what-
Children's church, yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
is that type of thing?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's more common than you would think, but I
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
I get where you're
but
going.
it's very. There's a lot of the music. What I really liked about it the most, ironically, is the music. Is and it's Christian music, but it's almost like a rockish Christian music, and it's so powerful and good. I feel so good listening to it. Actually, on my Spotify list, I have a religious playlist, and that's what I listen to at the gym. I don't know why. It's weird.
Yeah.
Out?
Yes, I work out. To
Oh,
this
this is a whole new level. It really is.
I mean, I'm just like, I listen to this music. It gives me this feeling, and I get goosebumps and stuff sometimes.
That's the spirit.
It is
Spirit
the
of God.
spirit.
It's the
spirit.
It's the spirit.
That's one side would say that. And
That's the spirit.
One side would say that, and it's not that one. That one right there, I would throw the weight across the room.
Jason, give me one of the songs on the playlist,
This
and I'll
is
make
in
sure to
Oregon.
replace it so we can really move you.
I would like. That's actually a very good thing, and they haven't played these songs in a while. It would be nice if they played because these were for
Okay.
a while ago. But it's Living Hope, Bethel Music is one of them. Upper Room, Surrounded. I Fight My Battles. Hillsong Worship. Who You Say I Am.
Oh, I've heard of
the
Hillsong.
live,
Yeah.
the live version, by the
Oh,
way.
live.
Those
Oh,
are my
yeah.
None of that recorded nonsense.
I play it
Yeah.
a lot, especially on Sunday afternoons and Sunday nights at my house where I feel the most stress
God,
because I
you're
have to go.
really in it.
No, I'm not.
I
No,
love it.
no. See,
In
that's
it.
what it's hard for you. That's it. Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at Jason. Look at him.
This is it.
He's transforming in front of our eyes.
Jason's crying.
How did you get this so quickly?
It's called the internet.
Yeah, the internet. It's available.
This is it. Oh yeah, they used to do this live. Great song. Okay, turn it down.
There's Jason running on the treadmill to this.
Oh, I get pumped. I'm like
Full out sprint.
big time chest pumps and all this.
Yeah.
I can do all things through
Through him.
Give me the strength to get this right.
This is a fabulous song right here. My gosh, I have listened to it 300 times. All right, anyway, back to the lunch.
There you are. Salsa. If you're just joining us, by the way,
Yes.
Jason Goodman was invited to a lunch by the pastor of the church that his wife has been taking him to recently, and you've been so moved and so motivated by this man.
I go as an agnostic, though. Clearly.
Right, you so proudly,
He
and
puts it on a name tag when he walks in.
the
Agnostic.
agnostic. He invites you to lunch. You're so
Yes.
stressed out, so freaked out about this whole entire thing, but the lunch actually happened, and you found yourself face to face
Yes.
with this man at Salsaritas. Go on. Here we are.
He just switched.
Sharing a bowl of chips.
So I start deep diving into the production of it, how this works, how the timing works, how to get the idea, whose idea is it. And this guy's so humble as anything, is like, it's everybody around me that's creating this. You know, I have some say, and this is a vision I have, but my team. And I'm like, all right, cut the crap here. I'm thinking to myself, this guy is the one, because he has to be, because I read about him. He likes to start new church, from his upbringing, he wants to do it in a way that's more engaging, because you know, Katie, that I've read about this, and I rub it in Jared's face, that less people are going to church.
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah.
But he is trying to get, and he says a lot of it is because they're so busy and so times he trying to bring some stuff that could be considered antiquated to more modern times, so it's more engaging. So you want to, you don't go there and be like, oh, this is terrible, I don't want to be here. You at least leave with a good vibe. He's almost compared it to like Walt Disney was so good at what he did. He wants to be so good at what he does there, where you leave, and sometimes you leave Disney and you don't know why you had such a good time, but it was a good time. It was a good vibe. That's his.
Okay.
So he's telling me this stuff. I'm like, this guy's a genius. This guy is a genius. Immediately, I almost said to him, would you want to go in a business venture together?
I knew it.
I even mentioned, I'm like, I'm opening up a place.
Could you speak there like once, twice a week, just to get it started?
So on top of the speaking, on top of the engagement, on top of the mannerisms, he's very meticulous and creates a very good vibe and environment, and has all these people that he surrounds himself with what a good CEO does.
That is a great CEO.
With talented people around him. We're just about 3/4 of the way done. We're asking each other about each other's things. And he said something that got me very excited. And I was like,
physically excited, or
Arousal.
okay,
excited, yes, because it was something along the lines of like, yeah, it's odd. It's like you got to be. It must feel good that you can motivate and engage all these people, from people like me that is on the agnostic side. And I said, I know very religious people that go to this church too. So you're engaging all these people, and then I raised my hand up. I said, it's wonderful. And as soon as I raised my hand up, the stupid cardboard plate that my food was on, that I didn't eat much of because I was too nervous to eat, went flying in the air. The rice went all over him.
Oh, no!
And when I say flying, it wasn't like a few pieces of rice. The entire plate. This was like out of a damn comedy movie.
Oh, Jason.
Boom! And the rice went all the way up in the air.
Slow motion, of course.
All over him. I think one of them pegged him in the eye because it hit his glass, and I noticed he had to do that with glasses.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Wipe it off.
And all over me. And I and myself yelled out as loud as I could, shit.
Whoa.
I said the whole thing.
Okay, I thought I needed the dump button.
No, I yelled so loud. I went, shit, so loud. And then I turned to him. We both locked eyes. And I thought he was like, did you just say what I think you said? And I looked at him. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just cursed.
In your presence.
He's more sorry about the curse than covering him in a rice bowl.
He didn't care about the rice.
Oh, no, you're covered in chicken.
I cared about both. That's why I cursed. But I told myself, watch what you say before I went in. Do not curse. Do not curse. Do not curse. Pretend you're on the radio and not curse. And sometimes I accidentally curse on the radio.
Yeah,
That's
you
true.
don't
Do not
pretend
curse.
that.
Do not curse. And as soon as that happened, I couldn't control myself. I went, shh. And I just said it loud. Everybody in the restaurant looked.
Wow.
And I'm like, sorry about that. I was so mortified.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
the
God.
rest of the time.
Oh, yeah.
That, to be honest with you, in my mind, I said, I'm not going to ask for the selfie.
Can't do it.
I can't ask for the selfie.
We're covered in rice.
And,
Well, that's true.
and I think he knew that I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he said at the end, you know what? I want to get a selfie with you.
Wow.
See how clever
You
he is?
see?
Do you see what he does?
He's manipulative, Jason. Don't
No,
trust
it's
him.
not. He puts it out there, does this bag of presents, and then they're all scattered out, and then you're unsure of what present you want, and then all of a sudden he wraps it all up, and here you go, and puts it back to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that
He
was
is
well done.
better at your game than you
Yes,
are.
he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I said, okay, let's get the selfie, because I knew
do
if
that.
I came back without the selfie, that would be a major disappointment for
Yeah,
everybody
it
here.
would, yeah.
Not compared to what you just told us.
No.
So we got the selfie, and as we're walking out, I'm like, see you next Sunday. And that's what happened.
Nice.
I invited him to our Friday morning
My-
live. I
Oh.
think he might have thought that I meant to was not preach, but do a sermon or something.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, no, no, no.
Yeah.
Just to get, because he said he thought the show was very entertaining. I'm like, do you listen to everything we say? Because it could also be offensive to somebody like you.
Sure.
He was like, yeah, I'll come sometime. I'm like, all right, yeah, maybe bring some of I don't know what to call them, your staff members or the people. And you know what's so ironic too? He's telling me, he's like, where do you live? And I'm telling where I live. And then he tells me where he lives. And I'm like, huh, wait a minute. You live in a town, Kernersville, by the July 4th park?
Oh, wow.
And I'm thinking to myself, that's so weird because I thought you like came down from the sky. You know, I'm like, it's so weird because he's like a normal guy that lives in the neighborhood of Kernersville.
He descended
I'm
from
thinking to
heaven.
myself, I thought you like flew here. I didn't know.
Oh,
That's it.
Jason.
Wow.
So I feel a little bit worse than I did before, but that's okay.
I can see that.
I can see that too. I mean,
That was horrible.
Yeah, rice
I cannot
all over
believe I
him.
did that. I cannot believe I did. When that happened, I text Katie probably 18 curse words.
Yeah, you did.
Of what-
You got it all out, all of it.
I'm like, I cannot believe this happened.
And then when I see the picture, I open it up and I was like, oh, that's a nice picture, you know? And I didn't think anything of it. And Jason goes, okay. So the thing is that the sun was in my eyes and I have very sensitive eyes.
I
and so
do.
that's why
That's
I'm
my-
squinting.
I'm
I was like,
squinting. Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't think that you were squinting
Instant
at all.
excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's posted.
It
Thanks for
is.
posting that.
Yeah, it's up on our all of our socials,
Yeah, I
so
gotta
you
look
can go
at
see
I
it.
gotta check this out.
Jason, I think the good news
Wow.
here is that like you could have, and I think a lot of us were thinking, burst into flames the second that you met him, but you
Yeah.
didn't.
Katie, yeah.
But you didn't.
But you didn't, yeah.
That is possible. That I thought that something like that could happen. But if you take a look out of context, and I was staring over myself and him, it probably just looked like two normal guys sitting there.
Absolutely.
But it did not feel like that to me. Boy.
And you threw a rice bowl to show it.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, you look very happy in this one, Jason.
does.
Yeah, you look very happy.
And calm, like he actually likes you.
Oh, I wasn't
Yeah.
calm. I wasn't calm, but yeah,
Hey, who paid?
he did.
He did?
Yes,
Wow.
I felt uncomfortable because he paid, and I thought, is this righteous? I don't know. I don't. You know how I'm saying?
Yeah.
Charitable giving,
But I
you know.
did say, I don't know if I should have said this. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
I said next time I'll get it, implying that there's a next time.
Oh, yeah, there is.
But maybe if I get my nerves down, I don't know if maybe repetition will solve this. I don't know.
Maybe you
think
guys
so.
could be friends.
But he is very good conversationalist, extremely smart and brilliant, extremely humble. The humble part gets me because he never wants to take credit for anything.
Sure.
And I'm trying to tell him that.
Which is the opposite of you,
Yeah,
that's for
I
sure.
almost wanted to get into an argument about how you're being too humble. Yeah, but that's it.
Has it ever crossed your mind, Jason? And this is me being pro Jason here,
Yes.
which does not happen a lot. But, you know, here you are praising this man. You're a public speaker and
Yes.
you do it every day and how you feel so inspired.
Yes.
Has it ever occurred to you,
Yes.
even though we make fun of you for not always putting it together properly,
Yes.
but that you speak for a living?
I don't.
And that you do?
Not well.
Well, I didn't
You
say
still do
well,
it.
but
Yeah.
you do it.
Yeah, not well, in a different setting, in a different context, and I could never do what he does on stage that pauses. It's no, I'm not. I can't. No.
Okay.
I absolutely 100% not. We are complete opposites. We are so different. At the same time, I'm so fascinated by him.
Uh-huh.
Gosh, and I would love to go into business with him if it wasn't for the Jesus thing.
I see you're not there fully yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that wildly embarrassing story.
It's
Great.
incredible.
That was great.
He's probably
Incredible.
still picking rice out of his hair.
Probably.
Or like off his shirt or wiping his glasses
I'm
or
probably
something.
going to show up, and the door's going to be locked when I get in on Sunday.
Everyone come in, not you.